So, after months of speculation, it is official. Mercedes Varnado is in New Japan Pro Wrestling as Mercedes Monet. She debuted this past week at Wrestle Kingdom 17 and challenged Kyrie for the IWGP Women's World Championship at Battle of the Valley on February 18th in San Jose, California. Obviously, we have been very much looking forward to the debut or the return of our girl Mercedes to the world of professional wrestling. And I wanted to know your first impressions on her debut and just how do you feel that she's now officially back in a wrestling ring?
Well, first and foremost, I had goosebumps when she came out, just because I feel like we all have been anticipating this moment and it's finally happening. But let me just like break it down. For me, like first of all, with the presentation when she came out with her music, love the song. I love it, and I love how like Sasha's known for being a little corny, so she has like that little annoying thing she does, and she just puts the Monet in the middle of like the song, and it's kind of
Right.
like cute. No, because she's just known for being just funny and quirky and annoying, so I liked it. It goes with the name, obviously. I love the new name, Mercedes Monet. I think it rolls off the tongue very nice, and I like that she's staying true to her brand, being that everywhere she goes, she reps Mercedes now. So love that for her. But like the look was everything. Everything. I love how she came out with like this Japanese inspired like kimono, I think is what you call it. It was really nice. I think the most interesting part that was like a conversation for a lot of people was her hair, because we didn't know she was going to switch colors, because she's known for trying new colors when she does or enters a new era, and people are
Mm-hmm.
wondering why she went with like this fiery blue thing going on. They're just like, was
Yeah.
she biting off a Kiera Hogan or something? Like, what's going on here? In my head, my interpretation when I saw the flames with like the blue bob was more so she did not forget where she came from with the blue hair, because let's be honest, every single hair comes with a new era. In my interpretation, when she was with the purple, she was at her lowest. When she had the blue, she came back from her hiatus. She had like a new frame of mind, and just kind of like coming into who she is. But normally, like when you see like blue with fire, it's kind of like, the hottest flame, yes. But I took it as like a phoenix, like rising from the ashes or something like that. And she's like really like peaking to be like her highest form of self. And like right now, she's in the promotion that she dreamed about being in. If you like call back to her Stone Cold podcast, she was saying how she always dreamed about being in Japan, but WWE calls. That's why she's here. Not that WWE is not a dream of hers, but Japan
Mm-hmm.
was like her biggest dream, and now she's living it. So she's
Right.
giving us a preview, and I do see that she's going to probably switch colors to like the orange reddish thing. I think that is just a transition. But I just love the presentation. I love the bob. Their new ring gear is fire. I don't know if her husband made it, or if someone else did, but I love the new ring gear. I thought it was sleek. I thought it was sexy, but it still kind of held some old elements of Sasha Banks without completely letting it go. But she's still shedding the old skin. Now, getting into her being in the ring with Kyrie, that part was where it was a little bit controversial for a lot of people. But I thought it was, for the most part, well executed. I think I saw some nerves there with Sasha. Her voice when she was doing her promo was a little bit shaky. It was lower and slower than normal. I'm not sure if it's because she was trying to. She could have been nervous, but I also kind of interpret it as, all right, maybe she's trying to adjust to the new audience and speak
Yeah.
a little bit differently. I think that in Japan, when I notice promos, they speak a little bit slower. Not because that they are slow, but just a different tone, a different vibe, a different audience. So that's what I got. But the biggest part that was controversy was the infamous new finisher. Um, and I don't know what's the name of it yet, but it looked like she's supposed to catch you on your back and then flip you into a DDT. And I'm not sure if anyone saw the other clip that was going around on Twitter, but she did it with Luchador. What was his name?
I
You know,
forgot his name.
I
Honestly,
forgot his
I'm
name.
100% for that. Yeah.
But she did it with him, and it looks like it's supposed to be a move where you both switch at the same time. If you don't switch at the same time, it's easy for it to look sloppy. Kyrie kind of fell down, and I don't want to blame either party, because I mean, it's a new move. It's kind of contrived, in my personal opinion. The girl is doing it in heels, and she hasn't been in an actual ring, and now she's in a new area in Japan's equivalent of Wrestle Kingdom. I'm sorry, a WrestleMania, and she's doing this new move. And I honestly gotta give her props because it's a move that I never seen before. I don't know where it derived from, but I give her props for like really like coming in and trying to invent herself and give us something completely new. I think a lot of people expected a bank statement. So
Yep.
I respect it. I feel like a lot of people are harsh on her, saying like, "Oh, she's a botch master. This is why, like, if this is what you guys want to sign up for. This is what you guys got excited for." Like, y'all just haters. Come on now. Like, that was fire. The whole entrance was fire. The presentation was fire. And you know what? It was a little sloppy, but she got the fuck up like a star and she handled it. She handled it and she walked off like a star. So I thought from beginning to end, it was almost perfect. It was almost perfect, and it made me excited for more because it's two people that we've seen in WWE, and we know that their work rate is like top tier, like shit. So I'm hyped for it. I think she deserves it. I think people need to lay off. What did you think about Sasha's presentation, or not Sasha? Sorry, Mercedes Monet.
I honestly loved the presentation. I think that it's very, very it's very, very easy to not take into account that wrestlers are human beings as well. And because of that, when people mess up, especially when black women mess up, the world tends to be hypercritical. I thought that it was the perfect way to present her. The first thing that I noticed, um, as you said, was the Jesus, yeah. The first thing that I noticed was that entrance music because it was sampled from something. Like I heard the melody and I heard the track, and I'm like, she definitely sampled something, and I was like, that's bread. So I know that she put her mainstream resources to work
I
on
think
that
Twitter
one.
said crisscross. I don't know what the
Yeah,
song
yeah,
was.
yeah.
That's what it was.
Jump,
Okay.
probably jump because it sounded like the sample from Jump Jump. So
Oh, okay,
it
that's what it was. All right,
it was
go
probably
on.
that. But I love the presentation. When, like you said, I feel like she was speaking slower. It was, but the reason why I think it was she was just being more conscious of the Japanese audience. If you notice, a lot of New Japan wrestlers who are English speaking tend to speak a lot slower than how you would speak in America, just because you want to be considerate of that audience. Not everybody's English speaking. You want people to get a chance to understand what you're saying and kind of be able to follow along. So I think it was that. Obviously, the botch was super controversial, and as expected, it was a new move, and the fact that she is trying something new. And once I saw that clip on Twitter, I thought that move was tough. And once she's gonna land it, once she lands it and it lands perfectly, is gonna hit because that joint is so tough. This also just like leaves me very, very excited for their match on February 18th at Battle of the Valley, because we both know that like Kyrie was a phenomenal talent in WWE. She's been overperforming in New Japan, and she's had incredible matches in NXT, incredible matches on the main roster, good matches in Japan. Obviously, the Sasha Banks resume speaks for itself. The Mercedes Varnado resume speaks for itself when it comes to matches. One of the people who has been able to consistently produce some of the greatest women's wrestling matches of all time. So when it comes to their match on February 18th, I think it's going to be phenomenal. But going back to the presentation, I think that she was presented as a star, which is exactly what she should be treated as. You bring somebody like Mercedes in, she automatically gets put in the main event spot. No questions asked. And so I think that this is really, really dope for her. Really, really exciting. Like, once again, I love the hair, the outfit, everything. It felt like a new version of her, which I think is what you can, the most that you can ask for. Also, sidebar on that, shout outs to Naomi and Bailey for popping up and being by her side and supporting her in Japan. Um, this is something that's a monumental moment in her life, and to see two of the women who are arguably her best friends be there to support her, I thought it was just really, really heartwarming. That picture with Sasha, Bailey, FTR, and Naomi just really, really like tugged at my heart. It was so nice. It was so dope. Um, and I'm just very, very excited to see where Mercedes goes next. And speaking of that, hold on, my bad.